The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. Can you hear me, Mia?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Let's just
Cool.
give it a few more minutes.
I think we started it. So, everyone, good morning. It's Peter and Mia here. We're starting very shortly. We've just turned on the screen and the sound, so we'll start in about 5 minutes.
I think someone said they can't hear us. Just um
Well, we're not speaking, so can someone type to us and tell us if they can hear and see our screen, please? I know there's about a few people on. Can someone ping us and let us know? Mia and I know. Can you hear and see our slides?
okay, cool. Oh,
They
good.
can hear us?
Yeah.
Good. Cool. So everyone, good morning. Me and I will be starting in about 2 or 3 minutes. So thank you for joining us, and we'll start in a few minutes. So please hang on. everyone on the call. We will be starting any time now. Give us another minute or two. Thank you. All right, so I think good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I think we're going to start this off. I know it's at 11:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, so there might be a few more people joining us in the next few minutes. However, so thank you for investing your time today. I'd like to introduce Mia Gao, who's my colleague. We both work for Storagecraft Marketing. We're both based in Sydney. Our roles cover New Zealand, Australia, and Southeast Asia. And so today we're going to cover a few things with you. Now, I assume everyone can see the screen. I believe they can and they can hear us, so that's good. Let us know if you can't. Now, the key thing here is we're going to go through about 30 minutes, and there is a questions tab there. And if you have any questions, please type them into the questions tab, and me and I will try to endeavor to look at those towards the end of the presentation to answer any questions you might have. So with that, if I go down a page, this is not moving. Bear with me. Here we go. So this is what we're going to cover in the next 30 minutes. Basically, as I said, we'll do some Q&A at the end. So with that, what are the objectives of this webinar? So Storagecraft, as you all probably know, as our partners, we're 100% channel led. So everything we do is through our partners, and your success is our success. So as a team, we want to win together. Now, the thing about this marketing webinar is certainly we do a lot of technology webinars and things like that. However, a lot of our partners are small to medium businesses, and typically they don't necessarily have a marketing function or have the luxury to have a marketing function. So frequently some of the principals or someone else who's doing another day job has to take on the mantle of being the marketing manager and trying to drive marketing initiatives for the business. So me and I are going to spend some time today with you just to give you a taste of, if you're really wanting to do some marketing as a small business or medium business to drive revenue for your business, we're going to give you some hints and tips about how to approach this, what to think about, and give it some consideration. Now, the thing too is me and I are available for one-to-one calls with you to give you your consultants to give you some feedback and ideas. So keep that in mind, and our emails at the last slide of this presentation. We're very happy to spend some time with you to try and answer any questions you have about your business. So if you're Richard Branson or you're Bill Gates, these are the sort of business executives who recognize that marketing is not an expense, it's an investment. So typically successful businesses invest money in marketing, understanding that it does drive pipeline awareness and demand for their business. Now, having said that, I'll be the first to say that not all marketing campaigns work, and that you need to, as a business, just like Storagecraft does, we try lots of different things and they don't all work. So you need to play around with and trial and experiment different types of campaigns to find the marketing mix that really works for your business, that generates the leads and the objectives you're trying to achieve. So you can have some fun doing that as well. Now, the first thing to start off with is before you go anywhere in terms of marketing is to figure out what are your business goals. And I'm sure you all know what you're trying to achieve as a business. And then think about how can marketing support my business goals? Are you really trying to generate leads for your business, and could marketing help with that? Are you trying to get a larger market share? Are you trying to get a bigger share of wallet? Or is there something unique to your business that you're trying to achieve, and marketing could potentially help support and get you to that goal? So yeah, you really do need to have some goals to begin with to know what you're trying to achieve. So once you've got your sort of the goals figured out, who are you trying to target? So across Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific, there's 500 million people. So you can't target them all. If you try to do that, your marketing budget would be diluted into insignificance and be meaningless. So you really need to hone your campaigns down to who are you trying to reach? Is it a small, medium business? Is it a mid-market business? Is it a vertical? Is it something like health, education, finance sector? Are you trying to reach your existing customers to get a larger share of wallet? Or are you trying to do an acquisition campaign? So you need to figure out who you're trying to reach. Now, when you do reach, you figure out that within those businesses, you don't necessarily want to spend your marketing dollars trying to reach people within the businesses that have no influence or decision making around data protection and backup and recovery. So you need to think about within those targets, who are the people who are going to help drive my business and potentially sign a purchase order. StorageCraft did a little bit of an exercise about this, and Mio will talk about it later on, but we do have a conversation starter thing pack in our partner zone, and it basically tells you about the pain points about those personas in black font at the bottom of the slide. So we know what keeps them awake at night, what are some of the StorageCraft value propositions that you can have conversations and start engaging with those prospects. So yeah, you do need to know your personas, and the type of people you're trying to reach with your marketing campaigns. So the next step is to figure out, as your business, what is your selling value proposition, your USP. So, if you look at the circles on the left-hand side of the slide, you see what customers want, what your competitors do well, what you do well. Then you see this slightly shaded green spot. It's quite a small spot, but that is potentially your unique selling proposition. And it might be technical leadership, it might be you have a fantastic product portfolio, including StorageCraft, or you might have a unique brand, your pricing might be great. Whatever it is, whatever your USP is, you need to give it some thought how to fold that into your marketing campaigns and messaging, because that's what's going to help make your business stand out against all the other competitors trying to reach the same people and organizations. So you'll all recognize this character. Even way back in 1996, Bill Gates said content is king. What I mean by that is, if you look at this slide here, typically buyers have a journey in terms of their decision-making process, and sometimes this is represented as a sales and marketing funnel. This way it's on a more of a horizontal scale. So when they're at the awareness stage, they're just thinking about making a decision around IT or infrastructure. They might look at some ebooks or some white papers. But as they move towards and they gather their information and their research towards the right-hand side, they're more interested in things like live demos or case studies or trial licenses and things like that. So the point I'm trying to make here is that depending who you're trying to reach and where they are in the buying journey, you do need to try and tailor the content to suit where they are. Now, it's not always easy, and sometimes one size fits all, and that's okay. But if you have the content breadth and width, and you're able to actually send different types of content to different types of people, then that's even better. So this slide really here, I'm not going to go through this in detail at all. All I'm saying here is on the left-hand side through the gray area that we've actually basically identified some of the things about what our objectives are, what our USPs are, what is some of our content. Now the fun begins, and you can start to think about different types of tactical marketing campaigns which you can employ, which then would generate leads, which would then go into your sales and marketing funnel to be nurtured by the sales and marketing team to try and convert into pipeline and POs. So let's go through some of that. So there are a ton of marketing tactics, and in the digital age, this is changing every month. There's new ideas and new approaches. And some of these are very traditional, but Mian and I would like to go through just a few of these. We don't have time today to go through all of these, but just to give you a taste of some of the elements here and some of the tactics that you could employ to actually try and drive revenue for your business. So look at this attractive crowd on the left. So that was us at B Forum last year here in Sydney. We had a very small booth. The key thing here is to make sure that you're well prepared before you sign any contract with an exhibitor or a conference organizer to participate at that. You really need to make sure that the people attending your coming to this event are the people you're trying to reach that we discussed earlier on. So we need to ensure that they're your targets. You also need to make sure that your team is very well briefed before the event. You can see here we're all wearing the same colored shirts. We tried to make our stand pop out a little bit, but people can get very creative. So if you're investing a few $1,000s on this, just go the extra mile, invest a little bit more where necessary with a raffle or a coffee stand or whatever it might be to try and getting bees to come to honey is to make sure that people are really interested in into your booth. It's even better if you have the funds to get a speaking slot at the event, but that sometimes can be outside the budget that might be available for your business. But the key thing here really is you've gone through the effort of doing all this. Your sales team and the marketing team have given up time to put all this together. The key thing is to follow up the leads post-event. So they will go stale very quickly, and I'll talk more about that later on. Let's move the slide down. Why is it not moving? My computer's frozen. Bear with me. Why is this not moving? There we go. Okay, so lunch and learn. So again, more of a traditional approach. With COVID-19, it can be quite difficult at the moment, obviously, or impossible to do these. However, there's no reason why you couldn't do an online training or boot camp while we're in this COVID-19 patch. However, when it does pass, and hopefully it will, you can go back to more traditional lunch and learns. And a number of you have probably done these before. They're quite cost effective. So your business might have a large meeting room or a board room where you could actually host the lunch and learn in your own business to save renting a space. You could aim for 10 to 12 people, make it quite intimate and interactive. Now, the key here is your customers and prospects will not want to come along to this lunch and learn or breakfast or whatever it is if it's going to be just a pure sales pitch. You need to make sure it's educational. You may even want to employ a third-party subject matter expert if you have one within your network who can share some sort of third-party objective insights into the topic, the technology, or the industry. You do need to have a nice invitation with some sort of registration process. And again, you do need to follow up post-event with the necessary call to actions to make sure that the leads are chased. And the good thing too is that you could have some sandwiches brought in. It doesn't cost a lot of money, or some breakfast, some muffins and some coffee. So you can do this pretty cost effectively. And the people who do come along could potentially drive a lot of pipeline for your business. So it's certainly worthwhile considering. Telemarketing, this has been around for decades now. I just didn't want to ignore it because it's still an important marketing and sales vehicle. It can be so immediate in terms of driving conversations and engagements with people who may be you're doing a cold calling acquisition campaign at a targeted list you have, or you bought. You might be trying to be cross-sell or upsell into your existing base. And if you have your own sales teams or inside sales teams who can do this, that's fantastic. But if you don't, you can actually get quite affordable outsourced telemarketing resources who, if they've given the right briefing and the right scripts, they can be very effective. We're doing some at the moment, and we're actually getting some good traction even in times of COVID. We still be able to reach out to these contacts and trying to engage with them to have online digital webinars and meetings with our team for even just 30 minutes to tell them more about our business. So certainly keep telemarketing in mind. It is a fantastic resource, especially if you think back about the booths and the exhibition one that I talked about before. Telemarketing would be a very good marketing vehicle to use to chase up those leads post-event to try and engage with them to set up meetings. Social media. Now, this is an entire webinar by itself. So me and I will not be going through this today. We're going to organize shortly a dedicated social media marketing webinar for our partners. So watch out for that invitation. But definitely, this is the very current and popular way for both sales and marketing teams to create awareness, reach out to contacts, and socialize their business through LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram and others. So keep an eye out for this, and we'll do a dedicated webinar on social media. So at this stage, I'm going to now pass over to my colleague, Mia. So Mia's going to take over. I'm going to have a rest, and then I'll come back later on. So Mia, over to you.
Thank you, Peter. I'm just gonna make myself presenter.
All right, I'll do that too. Do you want me to change it?
I've already changed it. Can you see my slides now?
I can see, yep, I can see your screen, Mia.
Okay, cool. Good morning, everyone. So I'll be sharing a couple more marketing tactics and what we can help in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So email marketing. A successful email marketing campaign will always get the recipients to take action, engage with your business, and help you to get more leads and sales. It's very cost efficient, so you don't need to have a big marketing budget or marketing team to do it. It's also very easy and quick to implement on an ongoing basis. Your content and messaging can be targeted based on vertical personas, buying cycle, and type of customers, such as prospects or existing customers. Most importantly, it's also allowed us to find out which campaign is more successful by tracking the open rate, things like click-through rate or conversion rate. So how to run a successful email marketing campaign? The most successful email marketing campaign always start with an email list full of qualified leads that are interested in what you offer. That could be people who send inquiries to your company email or visited your booth from a trade show. I know some companies are buying leads from a third-party agency for their email campaign. So it's really, really important to be aware of the privacy law or related legislation in different countries. Things like such as notifiable data breaches in Australia, GDPR in Europe, just to make sure people are great to opt in the list you are buying before you reach out to them. So once you know your audience, it's always important to figure out what is the pain point of the targeted list. Make sure the content is relevant to them and set a goal for your campaign. It's always all good marketing starts with setting goals, and there's no difference for email marketing. So think about what you want to achieve from this campaign. Typical goals could be welcoming new subscribers. It's always too good to have maybe a piece of introduction of your business, so you start to build a relationship with them. If you want to re-engage with dormant customers who haven't been particularly active for the say past 6 to 12 months, maybe send them a piece of content or a relevant case study, promotions or upcoming webinars, events, any exciting updates that they might be interested in. You can also run a nurturing campaign for existing subscribers by providing something they will value. So spend some time to segment your subscribers. You will definitely see the difference. What is next? Call to action. So this is to encourage your customers moving to the next step in their buying journey. Good call to actions should be short and clear, such as sign up for free trial, learn more from us, book a one-on-one demonstration or meeting, things like requested a callback, etc. So as you can see on the right hand side, here are just some examples we sent to our customers before. It's very straightforward, short and clear on the call to action. Here are also some tips for those who are ready to start your campaign after this webinar. So your subject line plays a critical role in getting people to open your email. So we really need to tell them what they will get when they open the email, making it maybe personal and keep them more engaged. Try to avoid spam trigger words, so your email, make it to the inbox. It's also important to use a responsive email template, so your email resizes automatically, whether people are reading it on their phone, on their tablet or a desktop, and always test it before you send it out and track the result afterwards. So platform, there are heaps of platform you can run email campaigns such as MailChimp, Marketo, Sendinblue, Salesforce. If you need any help, let me know. Always happy to help. Newsletters. Not sure everyone can see on the right hand side. I'm sure a lot of you guys have received this email before. This is our partner newsletter from last quarter. I'm sure everyone received a lot of email newsletters every day, and most of them got deleted straight away. So just want to share some ideas on how to create a newsletter people actually read. First of all, be creative with the email subject lines, and then choose your focus on your newsletter so people don't have to scroll all the way down to see the key message you want to deliver to them. Also, it's important to balance the newsletter content to be maybe 90% educational and 10% promotional. Unfortunately, most customers might not want to hear you products or services all the time, but if they see educational information which is relevant to them, they might want to spend more time to read our emails. Always good to ask feedback and find out what they like, what they don't like about your newsletter, so you can keep improving the content. So keep it simple, keep it catchy, make it an enjoyable reading experience for your customers. Webinars has become very popular lately. As everyone knows, they're highly engaging. You're able to answer questions during the webinar, able to follow up after the webinars. So actually, according to InsideSales.com, more than 73% of marketing and sales leaders say webinars are one of the best ways to generate quality leads. So once you're done the webinar, you can also upload it to YouTube, LinkedIn, your website, instead of having the same conversation over and over with your customers. At the moment, we're currently working on 19 webinars for partners this quarter. Peter is also, as he mentioned just now, he's also working on another series for end users. Just to want to share few tips on running a webinar. So select a right day and time. Be aware of different time zones and public holidays in different regions. It's really important. You don't want to ruin somebody's Friday afternoon beer o'clock with their webinars. So try to promote your webinars as much as you can. Don't forget to resend your invite 1 to 2 hours before the webinar. You will be really surprised by the number of last-minute registrations, especially at this moment. Everyone's staying at home. So always allow follow-up, always follow up by sending out an email, maybe the document you mentioned in the webinar or recording link before the audience forget you. So how we can help? We have a partner portal called Partner Zone, as you can see on the right-hand side. There's a lot of information you can use for your marketing activities. Kind of let us know if you haven't got access. We'll set up for you straight away. As Peter mentioned before, content is the king. We're trying to offer all different type of content for our partners to use straight away. Things like social media posts. We have search draft blog. There are heaps content you can repost on your website, LinkedIn straight away. We also have a lot of email template, ready to go email templates for our partners to co-brand. You just need to add your logo, add your contact details, and then you're ready to send to your database. Webcast content. We have a bunch of webinars ready for you to use in BrightTalk, PR articles, things like that. Yeah, a lot of content. Feel free to reach out to Peter or myself. We have to help you to find the right content for you and support your marketing activities. We also have this campaign available for our partners for joint lead generation activities. It's called Campaign in a Box. So you just we offer content, presentation speakers to our partners and also marketing funds. So what our partners need to do, they just need to submit the activity outline and expected ROI, sit down with our marketing team and their account manager. So yeah, we will do the campaign with you together. That's pretty much it from me. Now I'll pass it back to Peter.
Thank you very much, Mia. I'm just going to make my screen. Okay, so some final thoughts. So thank you very much, Mia. Very good stuff there. So lots of ideas for the team to use. So as I mentioned before, you've gone to all this effort to create marketing ideas and initiatives and campaigns. The leads will not qualify themselves. You really must have the ability to take those leads, post the event or post the initiative, post the EDM, whatever, or webinar, whatever it is, and then add those leads to a CRM system like Salesforce or to be assigned to a sales team member to follow up. Now, I'm going to show you another slide here that came from Microsoft. So moving down. Bit of a delay going on here. Why doesn't that move? Bear with me. It's not changing. I'm going to have to get it out of there and do it manually. This is weird. I can't. Oh, here we go. All right, so let me go there and then put it back into presentation mode. So this is a study by Microsoft, and look, honestly, that's a lot of contacts, and they're a very big marketing machine. So we're not suggesting you need to make 12 contacts through your sales and marketing team from a lead that you generated to actually get a PO. You might be fortunate, it might be 1 or 2 contacts and get the purchase order, but sometimes you can see that it takes a number of nurturing emails and calls over a period of time before the customer finally decides to actually engage your organization for a particular purchase order. And you can see by contact number 4 there in green that almost 90% of the sales teams have given up after the 4th contact. So you got to be persistent. You got to be persistent and consistent to actually be successful to convert a marketing lead into a sales opportunity. Now, one other point I'd make here too is that sales and marketing need to do this in collaboration. You cannot do a marketing campaign in isolation. You do need to have the buy-in and input from your sales teams. It actually really helps. You can get some really good ideas from the sales teams in terms of their customers, their insights, and also get their buy-in into the program so that they have more ownership and more likelihood to follow up on the lead. So having that cooperation with the sales teams is really important to collaborate to be successful together. I think this is my last slide. So the last point I'd like to make is that marketing is a science, but it's also an art. So you do have to be very thorough with your return on investment, measuring the leads, tracking how much revenue is coming in through the marketing campaigns, and having great databases and science behind that. But at the same time, you can have a lot of fun with marketing. You can use the right-hand side of your brain to be creative, incorporating things about your brand, your business, your personality. You could even fold in some humor. So as I said at the beginning of the webinar, you have to try different approaches, and they don't all work. So it's like fine-tuning a Ferrari. You've got to keep on fine-tuning it till you get, the campaigns and the tactics that are humming beautifully and producing the leads with a good return on the money you're investing into it. So I'd really recommend that you all try it. I think it's a good way to help drive your business. As Mia and I have said, we're both available for consultation, phone calls with you to help you go through anything that's challenging for your business or any ideas you'd like. So here is our particular email. So feel free to reach out to both of us or individually. Now, that is the end of it. How long have we been speaking here? I think we can actually look. Are there any questions, Mia? I don't know if there are. Do you see any, Mia?
Not at the moment. Is there any questions? You can just tap in the question chat box.
Well, I think we must have answered all your questions. So once again, thank you very much for your valuable time. We're here to help you. And we look forward to seeing our partners embrace marketing, giving it a go, and hopefully making some big differences to your bottom line. Mia, any closing comments from you?
No, that's pretty much it. Just let us know anything we can help, and stay safe, everyone.
Cool. All right. Well, look, thanks everyone. We'll finish the webinar here, and you have a great rest of the day for yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.